This video is sponsored in part by Ren. One down, 434 to go. I'm just a kid, another citizen, who is often referred to as Mr. Beat. About 3 months ago, I called every U.S. representative in the country. It took me a long time to do that. 9 days, as a matter of fact. 9 freaking days.
So we have a Matthew Beatty and a Matt Beatty in our system. I was just wondering if either of those are you.
I am showing a few Matt Beatty.
There are currently 435 voting members of the House of Representatives, and yep, I called every single one.
I'm sorry, but that mailbox is full. Please try again later. Thanks for calling. Goodbye.
I'll be sure to pass along your message to the Congresswoman. She'd love to send you a written response if you'd like to see one.
That'd be great. Like if I get an email, that would be wonderful, even if it's short.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much, Mr. Beat, for calling.
Thank you, Mr. Beat. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for calling, Mr. Beat.
Have a great day, Mr. Beat.
Okay, you too. You may remember that I called every U.S. senator in the country, and I live streamed the whole thing. When I did that, I brought up many different issues, including issues that constituents in the chat were wanting to bring to their senators' attention. Well, this time I was laser focused on one specific bill that I think the majority of Americans would love to see passed. I wanted every single member of the House to be aware of and support H.R. 222, aka the Election Day Holiday Act. The bill would simply make Election Day a federal holiday and would automatically make it much easier for millions of Americans to get off work to vote. The bill was introduced in the House on January 6th, 2021, where it promptly died. January 6th, 2021. Something else happened that day, I think. Anyway, again, it was a bill I thought the majority of Americans, regardless of their party affiliation, could get behind. And it was simple. Yeah, I just wanted to pass along my support for a bill that would make Election Day a federal holiday.
Are you talking about the Election Day Holiday Act of 2021?
Yes, I am. It's H.R. 222, the Election Day Holiday Act. It was introduced last year but never voted on.
That is a good idea, actually.
I'm glad you agree. And let's first just get this out of the way. Not one member of the House actually answered. What can I say? I'm not surprised. And you're probably not surprised either. So I just talked to a member of their staff. There are at least 10,000 staffers who work in the U.S. House of Representatives, but most of the folks I talked to were unpaid interns. Most offices get at least 5,000 calls and emails each month, so they do have their work cut out for them. That said, one reason why it took so long for me to call every U.S. representative was because the vast majority of offices actually picked up the phone. When I called every U.S. senator in the country, 53 of the offices didn't pick up the phone, so I left 53 voicemails, and none of those calls were returned. However, of the 435 offices of representatives, 368 picked up. Not bad. Also, of the 67 offices that didn't pick up, 4 of them called me back within a couple days. So if I count those callbacks, I spoke with 86% of all offices of representatives. Much better than just the 47% of the Senate's offices picking up and speaking with me. So basically, based on this, you are almost twice as likely to get someone to answer the phone by calling your U.S. representative versus your U.S. senator. If I call the office of a representative you've heard of, their office probably didn't answer. The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, left a voicemail. Ro Khanna, left a voicemail. Katie Porter, left a voicemail. Matt Gaetz, left a voicemail. Eric Swalwell, Jamie Raskin, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Jim Jordan, Tim Ryan, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, voicemails. Props to the offices of Kevin McCarthy, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Ilhan Omar, though. They probably get a lot of haters calling them, but their offices all picked right up. At first, I was honest. I told them that I was calling every representative in the country and that I didn't live in the representative's district.
Oh, you're not a constituent.
No.
Matt, are you a constituent of the Congressman?
No, I'm outside the district.
Are you a part of our district?
No.
Okay, well, it's unlikely that you usually hear back.
So it looks like you are outside the district, sir. Do you know who your representative is in Kansas?
Just because you're not in our district, it's unlikely that we can get your response within the next couple months. Although I can have you reach out to your congressman in your district regarding this same issue. Have you done that yet, sir?
No, I'm calling every member of Congress.
Okay, well, that's fair. But what I can do is make sure that I pass the message along to the people in my office that will handle that sort of thing. It's just unlikely you'll get a response.
But once the staffer knew I didn't actually live in the district, they often went from, "How can I help you?" to, "Yeah, I don't give a crap what you say, but I will still be polite." Therefore, I began to lie. I'm sorry, Mom. I felt so guilty about this, but yes, I lied. I said I lived in the district of whatever representative I called.
And are you from the district?
Yes, zip code 90220. But then some were asking for my home address to prove I lived in their district, and I broke down and couldn't lie anymore.
Do you mind giving me your name and your residential address?
I'm calling I'm from outside of the district, so.
Okay.
Eventually, I found that I could get away with just giving them a zip code within the district for them to think I lived in the district.
Okay, and your zip code, please?
Yeah, 32212. So yeah, I spent an extra hour or two looking up random zip codes within districts across the country. That was fun. Also, in the beginning, I made the mistake of asking the staffer if they knew what the congressperson's opinion was of H.R. 222. I was just calling to let Congressman Rogers know that I support Election Day being a federal holiday, and I was actually going to ask you if you knew if he did as well.
That is not something I know off the top of my head. I can ask someone else in the office about that issue.
I can kind of hear them talking about it.
Okay, I did speak with my legislative director, and he said that the Congresswoman does support making the Election Day a federal holiday.
Well, that took too much time, although I do appreciate the staffers sincerely trying to find out. So soon I realized it would be much more efficient if I just told each staffer to pass along my support of H.R. 222 to the representative. Yeah, I just wanted to pass along my support for H.R. 222, the Election Day Holiday Act. I called the office of Don Young, the former representative of the entire state of Alaska, but just as I was dialing, I remembered that he had died a few months prior and the seat was vacant.
Office of Alaska at large, how can I help you?
Yeah, there's nobody officially representing the state yet, right?
That's right.
Okay, can I still pass along a message for the next person to take the office?
It won't be the same staff, so I have no way to get it to them.
I embarrassed myself again a couple times when I called the office of New York's 19th District and New York's 23rd District. For the 19th District, I asked to pass along a message for Antonio Delgado, who I thought was their current representative. As it turns out, he had resigned a couple months before I called after becoming the Lieutenant Governor of New York.
Office of New York's 19th Congressional District, how may I help you?
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to pass along my support for a bill.
I'm not sure if you were made aware, sir, but our congressperson stepped down on May 25th. So currently we are no longer taking or advocating for positions of public policy.
Oops. For the 23rd District, I asked to pass along a message for Tom Reed, who again, I thought was their current representative. Yeah, he had also resigned in May after being accused of sexual misconduct. Look, it's hard for me, let alone anyone, to keep track of all 435 members of the House. The vast majority of my interactions with staffers was positive. Most of them were incredibly pleasant and seemed to be sincerely listening to me. I noted that at least 18 staffers repeated back to me what I had told them.
I can pass your comment in favor of making Election Day a federal holiday to the Congresswoman. Would you like a response from her?
6 even recognized me and said they had watched my videos.
Can I get your name?
Yes, Matt Beat, B-E-A-T.
Are you Mr. B YouTube channel?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay, I watch it. I'm a subscriber. So nice to hear you. But,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
Thanks for watching. Matt Beat, B-E-A-T.
Wait. Matt Beat?
Yeah.
The name sounded very familiar, I'll say.
You may have come across my YouTube stuff, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it was a couple days ago. I just watched your Calling Every Senate video.
Yeah.
And you said that you called the representatives. And I was like, maybe, I wonder if I'll still be in the office by that time. But here we go. Just need to call.
That's awesome.
Did you say Matt Beat?
Yeah.
Like Mr. Beat?
Oh, yeah. Like the channel.
Oh my gosh. Wow, I am just an intern, but I am a huge fan of your channel.
So that was pretty neat. One was actually from Kansas's 4th district, which is where I grew up.
Mr. Beat!
Yes.
I've seen your videos.
Oh, holy crap, that's awesome. Unfortunately, I noted at least 32 staffers who obviously were not taking down my information, were downright rude, or at the very least, were clearly insincere and didn't give a crap about what I was saying.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for calling in, sir.
So, it has now been 3 months since I made all those calls. How many responses have I got back from actual U.S. representatives? Sadly, not many at all. But first of all, I should note that one of the representatives, Congresswoman Jackie Walorski of Indiana's 2nd District, died in a horrible car crash just a couple weeks after I called her. So I totally understand why she wasn't able to respond, and may she rest in peace. Also, some of those I called once again took the liberty of automatically signing me up for their representative's newsletter. Yay! I am now regularly getting newsletters from 13 different representatives across the country. That's clogging my inbox a bit. At the time of me recording this, which is in late October, I have only gotten 18 personal responses back. 18 out of 435 members of the House of Representatives. That's a 4% response rate. Incredibly, that's a worse response rate compared to when I called every U.S. senator. Not only that, 5 of the responses I got back had nothing to do with making Election Day a federal holiday. Representative David Kustoff of the 8th District of Tennessee emailed me about a bill to suspend tariffs on imported baby formula. Okay. And Representative Matt Rosendale of Montana emailed me to rant and rave about the 2020 election and the For the People Act, H.R. 1, which I did not mention when I called his office. Representative Tom Cole of Oklahoma's 4th District emailed me about the Voter ID Act. Huh? Representative Ann Kirkpatrick of Arizona's 2nd District sent me literally just a generic response that she probably sends to everyone else who contacts her office. Thank you for sharing your opinions on the issues that are most pressing to you. Then, of course, she goes on about stuff that has nothing to do with making Election Day a federal holiday. Representative Al Lawson of Florida's 5th District also sent me a generic response, but a much shorter one. Thanks, Al. Representative Brian Mast of Florida's 18th District had someone else respond on his behalf. I mean, that's basically what they told me on the phone. The other personal responses were pretty sincere though, although there was still quite a bit of copy pasta. I do want to give out a shout out to the best responses. Peter Welch, the lone representative of Vermont, went straight to the point, cutting out all the crap. It was a great response. Representative Brian Stile of Wisconsin's 1st District, Representative French Hill of Arkansas's 2nd District, and Representative Lloyd Smucker of Pennsylvania's 11th District all disagreed with me, but all 3 gave a thoughtful explanation why they thought Election Day shouldn't be a federal holiday. But just one thing, Lloyd.
Mr. Dietz.
And finally, Representative Jim Cooper of Tennessee's 5th District. Well, he called me Matt Beater, but still get a wonderful response. But that's basically it. There was no personal video this time. That means of all 535 members of Congress, Cory Booker remains the only one to send me a personal video response, which obviously was above and beyond. I still can't believe he did that. So here were my biggest takeaways from this experience. First of all, the more high profile the congressperson, the less chance you'll be heard by them. In my opinion, many of these high profile congresspeople seem to have higher ambitions than just representing their districts. They make lots of public appearances. They tend to talk trash and be provocative on Twitter. They love getting attention whenever possible. Frankly, I'm not that impressed by these high profile members of the House. I am more impressed by all the ones we don't hear from in the media all the time. You know, the ones who don't seek out fame. The ones who quietly do their job every day, seemingly doing their best to follow up with their constituents, discussing bills in committees, and writing and passing bills they are passionate about. One such congressman is Mark Takano, who represents California's 41st district, and who I had the privilege of interviewing earlier this year.
There's a lot of meetings, and then usually there's at least once and sometimes twice a day that I have to go to the floor for a vote series. Depending on what time of year it is, I'm voting maybe 10, 12 measures. I have my little voting card that's in my pocket right here. I keep in this little wallet. And it looks like an ID card, but it's got a little chip on it. And I put it in the voting machine where it registers my vote. There's a green for yes, a red for no, and a yellow for present.
As the congressman went on and on about what his typical day looked like, I found myself growing a bit bored. But hold up, okay, that's not really a bad thing. Members of Congress ought to be boring. After all, a lot of times it's the boring ones who get meaningful stuff done, not the performers. Speaking of boring representatives, none of the Kansas representatives got back to me. This includes my representative, the dude who is supposed to represent me here in the 2nd District of Kansas. Okay, we've made it. We've made it to my congressman.
Congressman Jake Turner's office, this is can I help you?
Yeah, I just wanted to pass along my support for a bill that would make Election Day a federal holiday.
Sure.
Election Day holiday Act, you find it? I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up now, and I will. I'll be sure to pass along your message to the congressman.
Sure. Can I get a response of whether or not he supports it?
Sure. I am not sure at the moment, but I will mark down and have our staff reach out to you with the response. Okay, great. All right. You have a great day.
Can you want to get my contact information? Now, I realize Jake LaTurner has 716,000 constituents to represent, but I bet the vast majority of those 716,000 people haven't contacted him. It's been 3 months, Jake. I can't even get a short emailed response. I need to know, where do you stand on making Election Day a federal holiday? Then again, perhaps he has not responded to me because I do troll him on Twitter from time to time. Still, my own freaking representative didn't get back to me. My third takeaway is that I was indeed impressed by how easy it actually was to reach a staffer. The phone rarely rang more than once before someone picked up to speak with me. That was awesome. Still, an unpaid intern answering to listen to your concerns is one thing. Getting an actual response from a representative is another thing. Which brings me to my final takeaway. Before this experience, I assumed that the House of Representatives was the part of the federal government that was the most directly connected with ordinary folks like you and I. Well, how naive I was. That's not true at all. I mean, the response rate was better from senators, for crying out loud. I assumed I would get way more than just 18 responses from representatives. I do get why representatives can't make much time for constituents. The average representative is supposed to represent 759,000 people. But, as I said in my follow-up video to calling every senator, I know these representatives make time for their campaign donors, and I know they make time for lobbyists who bribe them. So I ask again, why can't they make time for us? This whole experience of calling every member of Congress has really got me questioning everything I once believed with regards to how the federal government functions. I used to naively believe that, we live in a constitutional republic, and so our representatives are beholden ultimately to us. They are the public servants, we hire them, we fire them, and they listen to us constantly. But now, I'm just not so sure. In fact, lately it seems like they don't represent us at all. Climate change is terrifying to me, and I often feel helpless. After all, I'm not a corporation. I'm just a person. What can I do? Well, as it turns out, there is something I can do to make a difference, and you can too. REN is a simple and effective way to make a difference in the climate crisis. REN is a website where you can calculate your carbon footprint, then offset it by funding a diverse mix of carbon reduction projects like tree planting and mineral weathering. You just answer a few questions about your own lifestyle, and REN will let you know your carbon footprint and show you how to reduce it. Once you sign up to make a monthly contribution to offset your carbon footprint, REN will send you monthly updates from the projects you support. I'm particularly impressed with REN's Clean Cooking Fuel for Refugees project. Just this one project has prevented thousands of acres of deforestation each year and helped provide clean cooking fuel for over 1 million refugees. Heck yeah. REN gives you a great way to actually make a difference. Offset your carbon footprint with REN. The first 100 people to sign up using the link in the description of this video will get 10 trees planted in their name. Oh, thanks to REN for sponsoring this video. Done. I am done. By the way, I have once again created a spreadsheet with all the details about which representatives responded, which answered the phone, which were rude, which were nice, who knew me, etc. You can find a link to that spreadsheet in the description of this video, and yes, I will continue to update it if I still get responses. On a final note, I don't want you to get discouraged after watching this. I want you to keep contacting your representatives. Be persistent, keep fighting, don't give up, okay? We must be loud. We must bug the crap out of them.